Hi, this is Christy's Cooking Corner, and for dinner tonight I am making a nacho casserole. I'm using beef, and this is a great recipe for changing for your family's desires. You can use chicken, or you can just use beans, like black beans and kidney beans, as your main protein source. So this is really an awesome recipe for everybody. I'm starting out with a pound of ground beef. And this here is 97% lean, I believe. You don't have to use that. You can use whatever preference that you like. But let's get started. This is really simple, really easy, and takes no time at all. So the first thing that we're going to do is after you've browned your beef or your chicken, you just take 3/4 cup of Miracle Whip. I'm using light, but everybody has different tastes, and the Miracle Whip is so good as far as giving it that extra added flavor, the zip, the ting, the whatever you want to call it, or the tang, I guess. And anyway, I just throw that in there on top of your meat source. Next, we'll take a jar of salsa. this is extra mild. It's just because that's what I had open in my fridge. I usually will use a whole jar, but since this one's only just been used a tiny bit, I'm still going to use this jar just to use it up. After I've dumped out as much as I can, I usually will put the jar upside down on its lid to try and get a little bit extra in there. Next, we're going to add, this is sweetened corn. And it's frozen corn, but I thawed it out and I've drained it, and but I have not cooked it. So we'll just dump that in here, and this is a cup of corn. So very easy. Throw it all together. This is perfect for the nights when I have dance or taekwondo or whatever else we have going on, because this is just such an easy recipe. Next, you'll take a tablespoon of chili powder. I've adjusted it to be maybe 1/2 of a tablespoon. Sometimes it just depends, but since I'm using an extra mild salsa, I'm going to use a whole tablespoon today. Okay, now we've got all that. We just mix it all together till it's just nice and combined. All the ingredients are mixed around good, excuse me. And let's see, I think we've got a little bit extra salsa in here, so we'll just kind of dump that in there, but we can get out. I'm making a mess. Oh well, who doesn't make a mess when they are cooking, right? Okay, so we'll just stir up that little bit of salsa. Next, we'll take a 9x13 pan. I've already sprayed it with some cooking spray. Excuse me. So I've already sprayed it with some cooking spray, but we're going to start out. You layer it kind of like lasagna. You lay this casserole. You take this is what it looks like when you've combined all the ingredients. I ran out of clear bowls. Otherwise, you'd probably be able to see better in a clear bowl. We just take a little bit of this and spread it along the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to cover the bottom, just enough to kind of give it a base to your casserole. I see this one. The trick of not having a natural photographer. Learning all sorts of secrets. I'm a mess and I have no photographer. Okay, so I've started out with just a little bit on the bottom. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some crushed up tortilla chips. I've used Fritos before. Fritos will stay a little bit more crisp in the oven, but they also have a little higher calorie count. So if you want to use Fritos, you can. I just really use whatever I have in my pantry that I don't want to go bad. So I've used Doritos before, and that was really yummy. I've used Cool Ranch and the nacho cheese kind. So, I don't know, you can really adjust it to however you want it. So you just take a few of your chips and you'll just sprinkle them around on top of your, on top of the meat and the meat combination, I guess. Here I've got some cheddar jack cheese that's already shredded. And in the previous clip, I showed how to freeze cheese, and I often do it with shredded cheese to help me speed up my cooking so I can still cook great meals at home on these busy days, but I've already got a lot of the ingredients that are already done, like the shredding of the cheese. So I just take a little bit of the cheese and I sprinkle it on here. This recipe calls for about 2 cups of cheese, but I really eyeball it. I don't necessarily use 2 cups. I don't necessarily use, I mean, I can use more, I can use less. Whatever kind of it looks like it needs. Then next, you'll just repeat, and you'll take your meat layer. You'll do another layer of meat. It's a nice cold day today, so this will be good warming up the fam, I think. Looks like I'm only going to do this last layer. Sometimes I use a smaller dish. For this casserole, I'll use a 9 by 9. Or I have another size that's kind of an odd size, but it's not one of your typical sizes. So I'm actually not sure what size it is. But it is a rectangle dish, and it is smaller, and it seems to work for this recipe maybe a little bit better, but that's okay. The smaller the dish, the more layering you have to do, I guess. So this just cuts out some of the work. Okay, so now that we've layered all of that in, we'll just do the same thing. We'll put more chips on top. Sprinkle them all over. I'm going to do all of these chips just because of time and because I don't want to have to put them back in the pantry. To be honest. Okay, so, and then we just top with some cheese. You would normally want to be warming up your oven for 350 at this time. I'm actually going to just store this in my fridge since we won't be eating until a little bit later, and we have kind of a busy night tonight. So I just sprinkle it with cheese. I'm going to cover it with foil and put it in my fridge for now. But then when I'm ready to cook it, I will cook it at 350 for about 20 minutes until the cheese is all bubbly and browning a little bit. And that is your nacho casserole. Very yummy, very easy. Thank you for watching Christy's Cooking Corner. Have a great day.